Okay, so now we're going to learn how to balance a checking account. So you want to make sure you're in classroom. You want to make sure you're in your right class. In this case, we're in C block. And then you always click on classwork. So under chapter 3, you're going to find an assignment that is called How to Balance Your Checking Account. So you go ahead and click on that. Then you'll click on View Assignment. And then you'll go ahead and click up this one that says Your Work. Hi. Hold on, let me pause this. Okay, so let me just kind of overview the process of what we are going to do here. Step 1, when you balance a checking account, is you are going to look at a bank statement or your online banking, could be either, right? Could be a bank statement or you could look on your online banking. And what you are going to do is look at the bank statement, find the transaction in the register, and if you find it, they have to be a rough match. Dates will never be exact. Amount should be exact. So approximate date, exact amount, similar payee, the person that's paid out to you. So we're going to look for a match. Once we find a match, we're going to go check on both records. We're actually going to write on the bank statement and cross it out. We're going to go check in our check register. That's step 1. We're going to find all the matches on the 2. Okay, then step 2 is we're going to look at any transactions that are on the bank statement that are not in your check register, which is usually because you forgot to write them down. Excuse the interruption. Okay, and next, the next step that you're going to do after you have matched those transactions is you go from the bank statement and find ones not on the banks or that are on the bank statement that are not in your register. Then you write them in your register. Then you check them off on both because now they're accounted for. And then you just look at your register, that's the last step, and see any transactions that are in your register that are not on the bank statement. If they're debits, you add up all the debits, all the payments, all the things that are minuses from the account. Then you're going to add up all the deposits that are not accounted for in your register. And then you're going to add the deposits to your ending statement balance. And then you're going to subtract all the debits, the total of all the payments from the ending statement balance. If the amounts match now, and you'll see in just a moment, this is like, what are you talking about? You're going to see in just a moment. I just wanted to overview the process. If the amounts match, then you're done. If they don't match, you got to start over until they do match because you messed up. You made a mistake. So this is how we're going to catch our mistakes. So next. All right. And I did go ahead and kind of overview the process here at the bottom of the first page. But the first step that we need to do, and they've already done a couple for us as the example, but let me go ahead and show you. If on the right-hand side is your statement, on the left-hand side is your check register. So on the right-hand side, if I look, it gave me a date of April 3rd, DBT, WDR, green gas and oil. It said it was a withdrawal, which means a minus or a debit, $37, and that left me with a balance of $813.43 on that day. So if you look on the left-hand side, notice someone's already done this for us. On April 3rd, we have a transaction. We got to make sure the amount matches for $37, and there it is, 42 green gas and oil, $37. Okay, so that was already accounted for. So do you see how there's an X there? And do you see how there's an X there? That's what we're going to do first. You guys see that? The X there? Everybody see that? And look over here. See that X there? Everybody see that? Okay. All right. So now that y'all see that, they did the second one for us. Notice how this is 4-4, but notice that you put it in your register April 3rd. How come it didn't come through to your bank till the 4th? Yeah, it is an ATM transaction. Those usually take a day to process through the bank. So you took the money out on the 3rd, but the bank didn't process it till the 4th. Does that make sense? So dates, when you match these, are always going to be approximate. They're not going to be exact. So what does need to be exact is what? The amounts. And notice how the description or the payee differ between what you wrote down and the bank wrote down. So what you're doing is finding a match. So let me go ahead and pause. Excuse the interruption. So the next thing that a student asked is, what was this like a $2 billion check? And no, if you'll notice here, because this is going to be our first transaction we're doing, notice, so we're going to look over here. This is the next transaction on here we're looking for a transaction for $100. And we're looking for a check on April 8th. So notice over here, we've got one on April 5th for a cell phone company for $100. And it's check number 1318. Notice over here that this lists a check number 1318. I did have a student ask, well, then what's the rest of this? And the rest of that number is probably the account number, or it could be some kind of internal reference code that the bank uses that isn't the account number. But what you'll need to do is see, oh, that's a check, that's 1318, that matches, the type of transaction, the amount matches, the date's close, that's it. So you're going to go ahead and put X here now on the bank statement since you found it. Yes, you guys do this with me, of course. And then over here on the left-hand side, you have to put X here because we just found that transaction. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do one or two more transactions with you, and then I'm going to have you do this. You're going to look and find them between the two records, and you're going to go check, check. You're going to start with the bank statement. You're going to look at the amount. You're going to look at the date. And you're going to look at who it's to, and you're going to find a match. So let's do that one more time. We're looking for a transaction for $52.44. And if I look over here, oh, there's one for $52.44. And then that's April 7th. And that's April 6th. Close enough. And it says Galleria Mall. And it says favorite mall shop. Yep, I've got a match. So then you're going to go check on the bank statement. And then you're going to go check on the register. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the screencast video at this point. And everybody needs to find all the transactions that show up on both records. Go. So I did have a couple students already get this far and ask me this question. This says transfer, but it doesn't say deposit. But if you look over here, the amount is $250, and in the deposit column in your register, deposits, you found one here for $250. So even though it says transfer from, you wrote it down as a deposit instead of maybe saying that this was a transfer. So maybe this is a transfer from savings. So when you do that, you might actually type in transfer from savings. Okay, because that's what it was. A couple things real quick. Okay, guys, I am recording again, so quiet, please. So what you should have gotten on the left-hand side is you probably didn't find that college dorm deposit of $350. And if you went down, you probably didn't find a deposit of $1,206.78, check number 1323, or what looks like a debit card purchase to a 9 Mile store on 430. So, oh, you did? Where was it?
Third from the bottom on the right.
Oh, missed it. Thank you. Okay, good job. See, there's my dumb brain. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your help. This is why it took me 8 hours. So, good catch. Okay, so you've got 3 transactions on the left that didn't show up, and on the right-hand side, you should have not found a $30.57 transaction to the airport gift shop. That one was not over here, right? Okay, and then on the right-hand side, you also would have found that you have a deposit of 50 cents you do not have in your register, and you also do not have that ATM fee in the register. Okay, so what you're going to need to do is the first step you need to do is take anything that's on the bank statement that's not in your register and put it in your register. Why would something be on a bank statement but not in your register? Because you forgot to write it down, that you got it. So if I go to that first one, I'll go ahead and write that down. It says DBT, so that was a debit. It says WDR, I don't know what that means, but it's the airport gift shop for $30.57 from April 8th. So what I'm going to do is go over here and put 48, and where it says code, I'll put DBT, and then I'll go ahead and put airport. Do this now, please. Airport gift shop. Elena, Sarah, what are you doing? Okay, do this. 48 DBT airport gift shop. How much was it? $30.57. Okay, so question is, do I put it under deposits or do I put it under withdrawals? $30 and what? 57 cents. Okay, so now what do I got to do? Yeah, I got to take my running balance and subtract it. So you're going to take